Happy Monday, everybody. My name is Brandon Rose, and welcome to episode 276 of the Xbox in 10 podcast, your weekly source of Xbox gaming news covered in around 10 minutes. Every Monday, this podcast covers new game releases, the previous week's gaming news, and we all learn an Xbox-related fun fact together. This show is on YouTube and podcast services around the world, so please subscribe in your favorite and leave a review. Xboxin10.com, no numbers, is your quick source for links to all of our podcast destinations and social media profiles, which you can follow at Xboxin10. Apologies in advance for this show as I am battling through a cold, but let's start game releases. There were no big games out last week, but the games coming out this week include Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, Vampire the Masquerade Reckoning of New York, Yars Rising, Action Supercross, Crossy Road Castle, Rugrats Adventure in Gameland, Kiki, a vibrant 3D platformer, Dice Assassin, Fable Dom, Garden with Life, Goob and Balloons DX, Lollipop Chainsaw Repop, Grapple Dogs, Cosmic Canines, Mellow Bop, A Last Song, Pico Park 2, Penumenta, Poppy Playtime Chapter 2, Road Defense Outsiders, Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, Self-Loss, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, Unholy, The Jackbox Naughty Pack, Wild Bastards, Deep Beyond, Demon School, Funko Fusion, Edge of Sanity, and Metro Quester Osaka. There are also some new additions to Game Pass either playable now or coming soon, and they include the following. You can now play Star Trucker on Cloud Console and PC, Age of Mythology Retold, Cloud, PC, and Series X and S, Expeditions and Mud Runner game, Cloud Console and PC. On September 11th, you can play Riders Republic on Cloud Console and PC, and September 17th, Train Sim World 5, Cloud Console and PC. Now to last week's biggest news stories, and we have 4 to go over this week. Number 1, Asian Games in the Spotlight, the Xbox broadcast returns to TGS 2024. Larissa Hazel, Director of Gaming and Integrated Marketing in Asia, writes on Xbox Wire. The Xbox Tokyo Game Show 2024 broadcast returns on Thursday, September 26th at 6 a.m. Eastern. We warmly welcome players around the world to tune in as we share content from Xbox Game Studios, Activision, Blizzard Entertainment, and Bethesda. We'll also showcase an exciting lineup of games from third-party partners, primarily based in Japan and across Asia, including games coming to Xbox Game Pass. This year's broadcast will be available on Tokyo Game Show's official YouTube channel, as well as select Xbox social channels in Japanese, English, Korean, Simplified Chinese, Traditional Chinese, Malay, Thai, Vietnamese, Indonesian, French, French-Canadian, German, Arabic, Filipino, Hindi, Italian, Maori, Polish, Brazilian Portuguese, Castilian Spanish, Mexican Spanish, and Turkish. Every year, Xbox's Tokyo Game Show logo is redesigned to showcase a unique Japan-inspired theme. This year, the iconic Xbox Nexus, a Japanese player, and a lucky black cat have been paired together and given a sci-fi look. We hope that this year's Xbox theme brings players around the world good luck and great joy in their gaming pursuits. I wanted to highlight this as Xbox does return again to Tokyo Game Show, and I do think this is important. We don't typically get any major announcements, but it is important for Xbox to continue to try to push their brand into the Asian market, where they have notoriously struggled for years, especially when compared to Nintendo and Sony. And definitely important to have some type of presence there, as Sony is seemingly lining up to either have the PlayStation 5 Pro already announced or announced at Tokyo Game Show. Number 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection and Capcom Fighting Collection 2 are now coming to Xbox too. Tom Ivan at Video Games Chronicle writes, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics and Capcom Fighting Collection 2 will be released for Xbox next year, it's been confirmed. In July, Capcom revealed plans to release Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics for Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PC this year, but the game wasn't announced for Microsoft consoles. And last week, the publisher announced Capcom Fighting Collection 2 for release on Switch, PS4, and PC in 2025. Following an outcry from some unhappy Xbox players and technical discussions with Microsoft, Capcom said on Tuesday that both collections will be released for Xbox next year. The company's US arm wrote on X, quote, "We are happy to announce that after technical discussions with our partners at Microsoft, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics and Capcom Fighting Collection 2 will release on Xbox One. Both Xbox versions arrive in 2025, so stay tuned for more information," end quote. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics will include the following titles: X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 New Age of Heroes, and The Punisher. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 will include the following games: Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Flight 2000 Pro, Capcom vs. SNK 2 Mark of the Millennium 2001, Project Justice, Capcom Fighting Evolution, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, Plasma Sword, Nightmare of Bilestone, Power Stone, and Power Stone 2. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection will be released on September 12th digitally and on November 22nd physically. Well, it's about time, and thank God they figured this one out. It was just such another blow to Xbox and the community for another game that would not be released on their platforms. I mean, releasing on Switch but not being able to figure it out on Xbox? What is going on? Number 3. 2 Microsoft Transformers games appear on ratings boards. Tom West at True Achievements writes, "It looks like we might have some Transformer games on the way, potentially as new entries on our list of upcoming Game Pass games, as Microsoft has submitted 2 Transformers games for clarification with the Australian ratings boards." As spotted by Transformers World, the Australian rating boards has published classifications for 2 games simply titled Transformers, which have been submitted by Microsoft Studios. The listings don't give away anything too notable, but each has different versions, one labeled as original with a PG rating for online interactivity and scary scenes, and one labeled modified with a PG rating for mild violence, online interactivity, and user interact. Many are speculating that the ratings could be Microsoft gearing up to add Transformers War for Cybertron and Transformers Fall of Cybertron to Xbox Game Pass, both of which are highly rated by all players and delisted in 2017. Interestingly, both games could fit the bill for the versions labeled in the new classifications. Fall of Cybertron was released on Xbox One and 360, meaning it could re-release on current-gen consoles in its original state, whereas War for Cybertron launched in 2010 for 360 and would need to be modified via the backwards compatibility program to launch on Series X and S. Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard last year, which would have included the licenses for both Transformers games. Hasbro previously said that the games would be an easy Game Pass add once Microsoft had the rights. While this isn't solid proof that we'll be able to play the Cybertron games again in the future, it does fill us with a little bit of hope. I heard nothing but good things about these games, and if they were to launch back into Xbox Game Pass, I would certainly give them a try. I think it was Transformers Revenge of the Fallen had an online multiplayer demo that me and the boys played a lot back in the day for some unknown reason. But glad because these games are cult classics and they shall be able to resurface again after being delisted in 2017. And number 4, Warner says a Hogwarts Legacy follow-up is a major priority for the company. Tom Ivan at Video Games Chronicle writes, Warner Bros. Discovery has said it's planning a follow-up to last year's smash hit Hogwarts Legacy. Quote, obviously a successor to Hogwarts Legacy is one of the biggest priorities in a couple years down the road, end quote, Chief Financial Officer Gunnar Windenfield said at the Bank of America conference on Wednesday. Quote, so there's certainly a significant growth contribution from that business and our strategic outlook here, end quote, when he was talking about their games business. The Harry Potter spin-off, which has sold over 24 million copies since its release last February, was 2023's best-selling game ahead of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and Call of Duty. This is no surprise, but it is the first pseudo-confirmation that a Hogwarts Legacy 2 is in development, clearly after being the best-selling game beating out some juggernauts. I'm excited to see this. I thought the game was pretty good. I can't say I loved the game, but it really did an excellent job of putting you in the world of Harry Potter, so I'm excited to see what that game developer can do with a new iteration in a sequel. And as always, we end our show with a fun fact about Xbox, and this time we're going to be talking about Marvel vs. Capcom the series, credit to Wikipedia, since we were talking about the game collections earlier. Marvel vs. Capcom is a series of crossover fighting games developed and published by Capcom, featuring characters from their own video game franchises and comic book series published by Marvel Comics. The series originated as a coin-operated arcade game, though later releases would be specifically developed for home consoles, handhelds, and personal computers. Its gameplay borrows heavily from Capcom's previous Marvel licensed fighting games, X-Men Children of the Atom, and Marvel Superheroes. However, instead of focusing on single combat, the game incorporated tag team battles. Players form teams of 2 or 3 characters and controlling one fighter at a time, attempt to damage and knock out their opponents. Players can switch out their characters during the match, allowing team members to replenish their health and prolong their ability to fight. The series' gameplay is also distinguished from other fighting game franchises due to its character assist mechanics and emphasis on aerial combat. The Marvel vs. Capcom series has received generally positive reviews from critics, who have praised its fast-paced gameplay, vibrant visuals, and wealth of playable characters. The series has enjoyed broad appeal, especially in markets outside of Japan, selling approximately 11 million units as of 2023. This is another glaring blind spot for me in video games. I don't think I've ever played a Marvel vs. Capcom fighting game. Now, I'm not big on fighting games, but with my recent obsession with Marvel, I will definitely be checking out this game when it is launching on Xbox platforms next year. Thank you all for listening to the Xbox in 10 podcast, your weekly source of Xbox gaming news covered in around 10 minutes. If you like the show, please subscribe to your favorite podcast service, share with your friends, leave a review, and follow all social media at Xbox in 10. This past week I was traveling, so I booted up Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced on my phone in ways that you can imagine, And I've been obsessed with it. With every little downtime I've had on my phone, I've been playing away at it, and this is a classic that I played so much back in the day as a kid but just never beat, so I'm excited to see it through the end this time. I've also started up Astro Bot on the PlayStation 5, and that game is just an absolute joy to play. Cannot recommend it enough. Everything you're hearing about it is absolutely true. My name is Brandon Rose. You can follow me on Xbox at Brosen93. Hope you all have a great week, stay safe, and keep on gaming.